Welcome to this wholesale backup demonstration video. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to install and configure a wholesale backup server for Microsoft Windows. Other videos in this series demonstrate how to create a custom branded white label software client, how to install, configure, and use the client, as well as how to use the wholesale backup server to monitor your backup accounts. Before starting this video, I've already created a fully qualified domain name, which DNS resolves to the external firewall of this computer where I'm going to install my wholesale backup Windows server. So first I just want to show you the support.wholesaleBackup.com site. I'm going to click here on documentation, and I'm going to take you to a document called Install a Windows Server. And here you can see there's some basic information if you want to read about system requirements. Microsoft.NET 2.0 needs to be installed on the computer that you're going to run the Windows server, the wholesale backup Windows server on. And if it's not already installed, you can click here to learn how to install and configure it on your given operating system. And lastly, step 2 here is to actually download the installer itself, which I've already done and saved on the website. Basically, this video is going to walk you through the remaining steps, which you'll see here in the Getting Started guide. So I'm going to launch our installer, and I'm going to install it in C:/, program files. Note the installer and executables are both 32-bit and 64-bit, and this will run, you can run a Windows backup server on any version of Microsoft Windows that Microsoft supports, although wholesale backup will only support servers that are installed on server versions of Microsoft Windows. So although you could run, for example, on Windows 7 to evaluate the wholesale backup server, wholesale backup and DaVinci don't recommend deploying a Windows backup server on any other operating system than a server version of Microsoft Windows. So the first step in the installation process is I need to choose the Microsoft Windows account that the wholesale backup service will run as. It needs to be an account with administrator privileges. Typically you'll use administrator here, but my account has administrative privileges and my password's correct. The wholesale backup Windows service uses HTTPS to communicate to and from backup clients. The server can listen in on any TCP port. I'm just going to use the default 443 port, which is typically what servers use for HTTPS, but I want to verify that that port's not in use by any other application such as IIS. So I don't have anything else running on this computer here, so 443 is available for me. And then one other thing I need to specify, which is very important, is where my backup accounts, the software clients, where their actual data is going to be written. And I'm going to put it on the E drive on this computer. So we'll create a new folder called, let's say, WSBU. And we'll basically have all our backup accounts data back up to the E drive in the WSBU folder. So now I'm going to install and start the wholesale backup Windows service. And it is up and running. I want to do a check or verify that my fully qualified domain name is accessible and on the internet, and that it actually forwards through my public IP on port 443 to this computer. So I've already created an FQDN, which I'm going to use. But this actually could be your public IP address or a dynamic DNS address if you wanted to use that. So here we're going to perform the DNS firewall and service test. And all 3 tests passed. My FQDN actually resolves to my public internet IP address. My public internet IP address is passing traffic through on port 443 to the service, and everything looks good here. And similarly, a registration of a new account test works. So now I'm going to provide my contact information to Davinza, who are the makers of Wholesale Backup, so that I can receive technical support, and this server is actually registered as being able to accept traffic. And this shows you the information that'll be passed through to Davinza. And I clicked on the register button, and in a second or two we can see that this server is now installed and registered and ready to accept backup and restore traffic. Very straightforward. In other videos in this series, we'll show you how to create a custom branded Wholesale Backup Windows client that will connect to our server here, how to use that client, configure it, run a backup and restore. And another video in this series will show you actually how to utilize this user interface on this server to manage your Windows clients, even do server-side restores, check out their storage for billing, and so on. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you visit support.wholesaleBackup.com for more technical information, as well as watch the other videos in this series. Thank you again.